Hello there everyone and welcome back. It is time to give the multiplayer of Necromunda a try. We have our own custom gang all ready and built, at least in preparation for maybe the humiliation that's about to ensue, or where, in all honesty, where I'm more a little bit worried is that maybe we'll have a very long time before we actually get an opponent. But with my Slag-Rats, as I have dubbed them, we are playing as House Orlok. I am looking forward to at least giving them a try. We have ourselves two marksmen with their grappling hooks and all that, and a saboteur for my starting squad. And in all honesty, I did kind of have the money to buy a fourth squad member, but I think I'm going to stick with the three that they at least give us, especially for like the pre-made squads, to see how the matchmaking fares. If it's going to honestly put me up against a four-man squad or not. That's where I'm most worried about with the matchmaking, because I start off at around maybe 960-ish, and that was before I bought armor for Jericho here, and got myself a couple of extra explosives and equipment to go with my squad. So I have the means to buy stuff right away, and notice customization. I'm just trying to see the shop. Yeah, we have means to buy at least a couple of the common stuff. Nothing too drastic. I imagine more might become available over time, maybe as I get more experience with the squad, but this is what we're fitting. I have Jericho kind of like an all-rounder. He's my saboteur. Ideally, I want him to just run around, maybe grab objectives, because I did play 2 operations against the AI, and the prospect of the game does seem interesting to me, since really you only have a certain amount of turns to just either defeat your enemy or to just grab as much loot as you can and then run off. So I like the idea of having this guy just cut off pathways for my opponents as a saboteur, while just grabbing objectives themselves. And hell, I believe, as part of his class, I'm just trying to figure out if it shows anywhere. The trait. Career perk, there is. It reduces the action points required for him to carry goods, so fuel canisters, ammo crates, anything of value, anything for the objectives. It's a little more easier for him to pick them up and just run off with them. I like to think anyway, but I have very little experience with the game in general to really say that with certainty, but he seems kind of meant for it with the carrier trait. And then otherwise I have 2 marksmen who ideally are going to be trying to harass and just position themselves properly. Although the main trick with this game, since a lot of the movement traversing abilities take action points instead of movement points, I'm going to have a really tricky time gauging how far they can actually traverse the map until I get a better feel for things. But so far, Sony here has just basic equipment. I didn't have enough cash to give her more armor than that, and the arm piece she has here just came standard with her being a marksman. She gets additional resistance for his left arm, which I'm curious why the left arm specifically, because you figure the right arm will probably need protection. Well, I guess it could be a facing thing. I am wondering the thought process, but either way, her arm's incredibly resilient, so if I can force them to shoot me on that angle, she might have a lot more longevity, and I equipped her with grenades and a pistol for, like, just in case. Although I don't think a pistol's all that handy. Probably a close combat melee weapon would be required, but the downside of having too many equipment, or too much equipment on your character is, of course, I think it inflates the price of our character some, and of course it reduces their initiative and other downsides to it. Like if I were to equip the pistol somehow with this rifle las gun, I would lose 10 initiative, so getting the first strike becomes less likely as I equip more things. Hell, I wonder if the armor's like that too. I'm not seeing anything noteworthy, but this is my commander. This is the leader of the squad, Marco. He starts off as level 5 as a result, but there's nothing else fancy about him just yet until we get an actual match in, from what I could tell. Since he has all these slots unlocked, but I need actual experience points to unlock them to give him additional abilities. Whereas my other characters have these locked until they get their traditional stats boosted up. So this is a squad here. The Slag-Rats are ready to play, and we're going to see how they do, provided I get an opponent. Alright, we got ourselves a match finally. Although I will be honest, I actually had a match before this one, but for some reason Necromunda decided to close or crash on me after like the first turn. And not only that, well, I'm going to hold it until we actually see our adversary, I think, but it could actually be the same person, but it was basically 5 versus 3. And the reason that was a big deal is it literally was not possible for me to even buy, I think, a 5th character or 5th squad member. And it certainly looks like, I want to say the same person. I'm almost certain of that, at least the same. I recognize the coloration, they were the same house as me. Alright. And if even more so, they kind of metagamed themselves to like not be initially equipped with gear. What am I trying to say there? Yeah, I'm skipping my turn for now. Since that's the one benefit I probably have. Sort of. Although, I lost my train of thought with that all said. Since they kind of already knew what they were doing in the sense that they basically oh. Why are we skip? I'm trying to understand what's going on here. Because I have less characters, I should be allowed to skip, right? Not that it really matters so much, since I'm going to be outnumbered, potentially outgunned. I want to make the argument. What is going on here? Am I uncanceling my skipping? As dumb as that may sound. Otherwise, oh no, this is a different character altogether, I think, since they have 3 Deadeyes, a Heavy, and then a Saboteur. So, before, I believe the character had only 1 Deadeye, a Heavy, 2 Saboteurs, and I can't remember what the 5th was, but either way, I'm going to let them have the benefit of playing first because there's probably not a lot I could do to even deter them very well. But basically how the match played out there for me is they, again, didn't have any weapons equipped to their characters, so they had really high initiative as a result of that. And then they just sprinted and grabbed all the loot. But a lot of that may be because, again, since I only have 3 characters, it's not like there's a lot I can do against them. Okay, I'm trying to figure out what the hell's going on here. I didn't see an option to select, so never mind. Alright, I skipped it a couple of times. I don't think it'll allow me to skip again. So I think what I'll do is try... Oh, there's barricades here too, so jumping through there. It'll take extra action points, but I do have grappling hooks, so... Let my Deadeyes go here. If I can at least salvage something and not get horribly murdered, this might be a good thing for me. Maybe there's a benefit for me. I'm pretty certain it's a different group because I don't think they went with the clan name Chaos Makers. And I wonder if maybe what they did is just do a bunch of AI matches to build up their gang before coming to multiplayer. That's another possibility here. Now, if I go here, they could deploy any... Yeah, if I go here, they could very easily deploy and just engage me, assuming that's part of their strategy. If I go here, I'm relatively safe. I want to argue. I want to argue, but they still have another deploy point, which might be up above there. I forgot. I did not consider the deploy point that they literally can take them right into the middle of the map. Never mind a clear shot that they'll have against me too. In truth, I probably should have just deployed everyone on the same side there, but with grappling hooks, it's not like... it's not really difficult for them to get centralized in the middle of the map anyway. But that's kind of what I was expecting. A Heavy there, I probably will have you by yourself. And because he's a Heavy... He's really well equipped to deal with that barricade. I think they get bonuses to that. And where the hell could I put a saboteur? Because I believe the dotted line here represents that these zip lines are broken. No, I don't want that. That's what I learned after my last match, so I think we'll just do the safe thing over here. Because I do have a melta bomb if I really need to break that barricade. I wonder if I should have just skipped again. That may not have been a ridiculous idea. May not have been. And at least I could kind of rest easy. The heavy that's up top, I can at least act before them. At least to get the hell to safety. That's all I can really say. And without a doubt, I'm going to be forced to act first with them. Or at least Tissoni. I believe that's Tissoni I deployed over on the left, because I have a little crown to represent my gang leader on the right there. Can't really zoom in at the moment to really see. And with what, 2.5 minute timer, I can imagine these multiplayer matches can take a lot of time. But I think I'm kind of forced to start with Tissoni, because that heavy can just shoot at me. Oh, there is another thing I'm wondering about. Maybe these guys are immune to damage if I don't act with them. Because I tried to shoot at one of their starting characters that hasn't moved yet, and I wasn't able to shoot them, and that may be why. Let's start with our saboteur, I guess. Yeah, heavy's going. I'm going to gamble on this just to help learn the mechanics a bit. We'll use the zip line. There's no need to sabotage. I should be able to jump, right? No, I'm not allowed to falter anything. Okay, so harsh lessons being forced on me, since I figured I could have just easily jumped over. At least over this wall, it seems like something I could have easily done. And there's nothing. Can I at least get some loot of some kind? This looks like a terrible direction to go. Okay, there is a loot casket, so maybe I can grab that. I don't think I have enough movement points. Unfortunately. And I don't have any movement abilities. And Jolt Seed, I believe, just increases my initiative. Oh no, it restores up to 10 AP, which sounds silly. Oh, it restores 10 AP and then gives me 50 initiative. Alright. Not a very exciting turn, but I'm going to force myself to try and learn this the game. At least so long as I can get opponents, but this is not a good first impression if you're someone that want to play multiplayer. It kind of implies you may need to play the operations a bit against the AI before you can jump in the multiplayer. Since from what I could tell, outside being allowed to skip, there's no benefit for my opponent, and I think he may be trying to shoot at me there. I believe I am shielded. And I could take shots at him if he stays there. Although he is likely going to overwatch, let's keep that in mind. I do have a grapple, so maybe I can just cheat the system and use a grappling hook instead. Heavy Barrage, I believe, is like a very powerful Overwatch that does damage based on how much I move. I'm gonna have to try, but I can also skip, so let's do that. I'm in no rush for the moment, since I'm wondering if they're gonna jump right into the middle, because otherwise I would love to have my marksman go up there and maybe grab something. Maybe. So you're a marksman on the high ground, or are you on the low ground? Nope, you're on the low ground. So you're just busy trying to position yourselves. And what was that? Just a trap? I'm assuming it's a trap, it doesn't want to show it, but hopefully, if I make a note of that, it should be easy for me to remember. Since again, there's not much really of a stealth mechanic to this game. It just apparently is invisible in case I forget. Although, my squad is kind of designed for more longer range harassment anyway, so in theory, maybe I should be okay not having to worry about that, no matter what that trap was. And I don't know if you can get a shot at me or not, but you have action points to use the zip line, I believe. If you really wish. And I think you're only on the second level, are you? I don't think you're that high that you can at least get an overwatch. I want to argue. Although I wish there was an easy way to, outside the map, I guess, to know where I am, because I don't see any indicators representing where I am currently. Kind of like there's indications for them. And I can always open up the map if I really want to browse around, I guess. But I do want to pay attention to what they're doing, because I could have very easily missed out on that trap. So what's it going to be? You have 30 seconds. Alright, readiness, that's a leveled up trait that I don't have access to yet, so I'm not quite sure what that is yet. But it seems like it's a buff for maybe the following turn, if I had to guess. It sounds like it with a name called Readiness. And you didn't even overwatch, so I'm relatively safe there. So you're just a saboteur with a flames, 2 pistols, so I should be incredibly safe from you. So I was really hoping maybe I could just grapple up there, but I don't think that's looking possible anymore. At least this one is not trying to game the system a little bit, maybe. And well, at least what I mean by that is they're not taking full advantage of high initiative by not even being equipped with weaponry. So I don't know if I'll really get in position to do any shots or not. I can get shots. That's all I can really say. And this leaves me with 5 action points to at least crouch and get cover. Overwatch would be useful because it reduces movement points if they activate and get hit, but I want to get to cover. Boo! It does reduce their ability to move anyway. And there's loot of some kind, but I don't think I'm in a good position to take advantage of that. I don't even think I need to kneel because I'm completely blocked anyway, but not getting a hit off it definitely hurts my momentum a tiny bit. I don't even think it would have turned off the Overwatch, or at least the barrage, but hopefully I have a way to deal with that with my grappling hook. Maybe. Or I'm forced to jump down, which might be another alternative to avoid their barrage. Because I believe they shoot once every 3 meters I move. So I'm basically pinned down. It can't really go anywhere, and I don't even know where their barrage is even aimed at. I can sort of guess by their facing, but I'm not sure if that's a definitive rule or not. Alright, so what is your plan there, buddy? Because I have absolutely no idea at the moment. And apparently you don't know either. I almost wonder if for future videos if I try and like cut out most of the downtime. That would require a lot of editing, of course, but I'm feeling or fearing this may go on for a very long time. Again, with 2.5 minutes for each individual unit. It's kind of expected to go on for a while, especially if it's really intense and actually an even match. In this case, I almost feel like my opponent could just rush me down. I feel like that's the case. I don't know if that's true or not. Because I have grappling hooks to get to areas they cannot even see me, and then I can completely obscure myself, but I don't even think I talked about the objective at all either. I did for the first match that crashed, but as you can see, the main objective is to try and grab these canisters, either by the end of the match or to evac them out. I don't know if it takes my character out of the combat as well, or if I just need to drop it there and it confirms that I can claim it. And then I get a bunch of resources. Towards what, I don't know just yet. Because the operation had like a kind of an overall objective when you're face off against AI, but here it's just a random individual match against another opponent. So I don't know what the ultimate gain is there, but you get elevation. Are you up here? Okay, so this is gonna suck. I do have a grappling hook, but again, remains to be seen if I can get up there. The big question, can I grapple up? Kind of like they just did. And they're one initiative higher than me, but unless they have a rifle of some kind equipped, they should not be able to reach me. I'm hoping, because that zipline is sabotage, right? It looks like it. And that would be a perfect zipline to get down too, but they need a lay mechanic to be able to do that. You're kind of... Oh, you're able to reach me regardless, so... But because I haven't acted yet, I still got like a defense shield. But you know what's going to happen here. If they can't shoot me, they're just going to overwatch me. So it just begs the question, who do I shoot? Well, I'm not... Who do I shoot before I attempt to grapple out? And even then I might take some damage. Or even worse, the grapple hook actually activates the barrage. Even though it seems like a nice way to kind of circumvent that some. There is... Oh, you could sabotage this too, but that's not a big deal, because I think that's hurting yourself. Alright. So my opponent... The only positive, I think, for this match is maybe experience. For what little experience I have, could be my only advantage, because that's a lot of maybe free damage to my opponent here, to this Lek fella. Yeah, I've kind of figured the Overwatch was happening, but they only have, what, 10? Well, they have 20 meter range, so the pistol will go off. Oh, they didn't do Overwatch spread, did they? So, first things first, I cannot grapple. And I can throw a grenade, but... Does that even do anything? It just does a bunch of damage and then destructible damage, so I don't think that's worth it unless I can hit both of them. It is only 28 action points. And is there somewhere There could be hope. I might be able to jump down. So... I don't like the idea of throwing a grenade, but... Especially one that doesn't actually help debuff, but it's less action points. That's the main reason I'm doing this here. But I could Overwatch as well. I don't know what to do with this position, because this is a crappy position I probably put myself in. But that does reduce movement points. Oh, you're not going to let me down, are you? Ooh, this is going to suck. I thought maybe I could jump down, but no. And I'm not close enough for a grappling hook either. Yep, she's just dead, isn't she? She might as well be dead. If I'm perfectly honest, but... At least you're safe, but... I don't have a med kit on you. You're the one person I didn't give it to because I only had 2 available. If only I was able to reach that, maybe then I could have avoided all that damage, especially since one of them was a critical hit, keep in mind. So they basically did double damage to me, which, considering the circumstances, still really sucks for me. I was apparently just like 5 meters off from the actual grapple point, and I couldn't even jump down to the ledge, so I don't know if that's like finicky pathing or just me trying to be greedy. Hard to really say. But at least if my character stays alive, maybe I don't suffer any permanent stat losses, which I think can happen at the very least if they're knocked unconscious. Because there is a persistence here, and I took the conquest mode and not the practice mode, which I'm sure you're all saying is probably a stupid idea, but hey, I was jumping in head first into PvP for crying out loud. We already knew. I kind of already knew what I was getting myself into. This is kind of a first-hand demonstration, though, of maybe some work being needed for the multiplayer, possibly. Because I'm pretty certain I said this before, but I don't even think it was possible for me to get a 5-man squad, so I think I need to play PvP or the PvE first to build up my gang before doing the multiplayer. So maybe next episode, assuming I can get another opponent for that match, we'll see about at least getting a 5-man squad. I'll probably have to rush it down or at least build a brand new squad, since after all I did spend a bunch of resources that could have been better spent in at least getting a 4th member. And then we can try this for real afterwards. But that was a lot of the reason of why I feel like it was important to do this with a 3-man squad, just to show the biggest fear I had with this game, especially with all the leveling, the persistence, and definitely the matchmaking, trying to balance it between relatively close team ratings. That it may not be working the best there, or, well, in all honesty, it could be that I've been in the queue so long it just broadened the search, to my own misfortune, and potentially to any future adversaries I may go up against is misfortune, because I could very easily benefit from this as well. And I was talking so much I did not see where you were going. So you were the one who already went. I think you were the one who already went. I honestly was not paying attention to who actually gone. Although I could have looked at the map to see who activated it. A little bit of learning is definitely required here. And definitely unlocking more gear, because I couldn't actually get a different kind of weapons for my squad outside of what they start with. Outside maybe a 2-handed flamer. And they sadly get to go first. Oh, that's the guy down below. So I'm wondering who actually did go first. Because he could very easily just flank and just kill my character right now with a grappling hook. It's basically no contest at this point. Yep, and that's exactly what's going to happen. They barely used up any movement points. Oh, you were probably the last one who didn't get to go yet. That might have been why. So you had an opportunity to position yourself before the end of the turn, which is probably why I probably should have skipped as much as I could have. Maybe. Because you're already down. Not much I could do about that. And they have 3 Deadeyes, so they can get up here really quickly, too. And I'm wondering if using my stim pack would be ideal or not to try and revive Tisoni. Because I think I have that on my captain, my gang leader, to try and at least revive one of my characters that are already knocked out. Because let's be honest, well, you did 2 shots, you used a grappling hook, I think you can't go anywhere. No, I'm wrong. And he still has all those extra movement points to just get into cover. Because otherwise I would like to think that maybe you can just die right now if I can get enough shots on you. But now you are free to roam. And they have a little animation for when they use items too, apparently. Don't know if they actually changed anything or not, but... I want to see what your inventory is. Nah, cannot use it there. I thought maybe I did, but I don't. Now, all I can really do is just try and cripple you down, I guess. If at all possible. And Overwatch is a terrible idea. And I have a frag grenade that will put a bleed effect on both of them, so... I may actually get a kill. And there's grenades up here that I could probably utilize as well, but... I think the plan is to run the hell away for now. And I do have a melta bomb to destroy the barricades, I suppose, too. If I really need that revive, but... I'm not in a good position, safe to say. And hopefully, you might just freeze to death. Especially with the bleeding. Probably not, but I could be it's wishful thinking, but they could probably survive just by having a stim pack on them that can heal them. Nope, he survived. So, Tisoni sadly will not be able to get a shot off, and my Saboteur is not in reach. I was kind of hoping I would do a little bit more damage, if I were to be honest. And it seems like... I don't know, did you burn action points to thaw yourself? I know there's like a stun effect that you can spend action points to unstun yourself, but... my Saboteur is nowhere nearby to actually be able to jump you. So I can't trade eye for an eye. Not in the slightest. And I'm really terrified of that gunner up top because they are kind of well equipped to destroy barricades and destructible debris. So I expect him to pay me a visit really soon too. And you have a buff there for your Overwatch too, apparently. Due to your higher level. So is there any way I can get up there? I can revive Tisoni. And then she would have a melta bomb maybe. I think, unless she's already considered incapacitated for this turn. Because I believe you have the equipment I need. It's still a terrible idea, but gotta try, right? .300 health, so I'm hoping this destroys the barricade. It's... I thought I had one that revived them. So I'm completely wrong. That was stupid of me. Ooh, and 2 of those were critical hits too, so that was even worse damage potential. And out of reach too, so because I hit him out in the open. Actually, I think that gives me movement points. Let me just double check this. No, it just restores up to 10 action points, so never mind. It doesn't help me at all, I'm just screwed. For a moment I thought I had a stim that could revive her, but I guess that's not true. And as a result, it's going to cost me immensely. Not that I had any opportunity to actually kill with my grenades, since after all, I had to use that grenade to actually get up to the barricades too. And oh, don't tell me you could just easily vault over as I didn't have a means to. I see the spikes there, but it wouldn't surprise me if he was allowed to just leap over without having to shoot it. And it had 300 hit points, so it would take him a lot of time to actually get through it, even as a heavy, I want to argue. So I'm relatively safe from him for now, maybe? Maybe. But I guess a lot of this was my own damn fault. I thought maybe... Well, I did want to experiment to see if I was actually immune to damage. That was true, but sadly I was just a couple inches off and to get the grapple hook up top, and this could potentially be a completely different game. Potentially. Even though it's 3 versus 5. Now, what are you doing, my Ghostbuster friend? Are you just gonna sit there and look pretty, or are you gonna shoot the barricades or go in our route? Because you don't seem content to shoot the barricades just yet. Or you could jump down. You do have options. What is it gonna be? There we go. I was wondering about that since you actually did earlier this game after all. Now, if only I had a frag grenade for over here, huh? Not that it would mean a whole lot on its own, I guess. Oh, you were the one that was crippled, dang it. If only I had taken that shot at you. I thought for some reason it was the one that was hidden behind cover I couldn't shoot at. Although, I'm already getting shot at, so I'm already kind of getting screwed, aren't I? Yeah, and I'm forced to skip. I don't have much choice right now. So they're going to take a lot of shots at Jericho as a result, and that's probably going to be game. Again, I messed up there. I did not pay attention to hit points if it even showed it for me there. Because I just naturally assumed it was the one he would actively try and protect, and not the one out in the open. Never mind the fact I wasn't in range anyway, but especially with no more movement points. So I probably would not have been able to reach him anyway unless I was able to sneak up a little bit further before the Overwatch shot. And let's be honest, you know you want... Oh wait, you're in a completely different part of the map, aren't you? So you're directly below everyone, but again, as a... What is it, a gunslinger? You can very easily just grapple up. I'm not really concerned that you can't contribute. Never mind that there's a zip line right there too that you can traverse. Yep, and where does that put you? Just on the same elevation as everyone else, right? I'm not seeing a health kit just yet. You figured there would have been a heal of some kind if he had them. So I almost want to believe if he's still bleeding and maybe don't have to worry about him. He might just bleed out if I was so lucky. Although even then, I don't think he'll bleed out next turn, assuming it's still going. Since I don't know how much damage that grenade even did in dot damage. Yep, I'm pretty much screwed. Poor Jericho is just sitting out in the open. And I thought I had a stim of some kind to at least get my squad all back up, but I kind of have no choice but to act with Jericho, I think, but to do what? If those are grenades, maybe there's something he can do. Oh, I have to skip again. Hold that thought. I keep forgetting that we start this fight completely outnumbered. And thankfully you should not be able to reach me, maybe? At least with the flamethrower. The pistol probably has the reach, though. Which is what they're trying to do right now. They're trying to get the perfect shot there, so I don't think there's much need to look, but I'm forced to act with Jericho first, I think. And what are these anyway? Will it even tell? Oh, those are just heal kits. Is there explosives? Medicaid bag? I would have liked if there was actually explosives for... You know, I can use I could pick up the grenade from Tissoni, assuming I survive, which I did for now. I could pick up a melt-a-bomb, I believe. I am dodging a lot of those shots, so you're burning a lot of your turn, which could be better spent. Debatable, but if you can group up for me, that would be amazing. Because I think I have a perfect plan for you now. Because they are bunched up nicely, aren't they? Although, I gotta be mindful if... Okay, that's a spread weapon, so I should not have to worry about that, because it's very short range, that flamethrower. And I'm wondering who gets to act before me. The leader... Yeah, the leader gets to go, and he's very much can just kill me right now before Jericho gets to act. Yep. Without a doubt, I'm going to have to get lucky here. As silly as it sounds, maybe I should have unequipped my weapons in retrospect. So that way I could have got additional initiative. If I could have planned that far ahead. Something to keep in mind for next time, maybe. Because you're bringing out the plasma rifle, so... Without a doubt, this is going to hurt. Especially if it's a critical hit, you might just kill me right now. And considering you already got a handful of matches in, you probably are skilled up enough to just straight up kill him right now. Yep. So the plan sounded good in theory, but not anymore. I want to at least try one final hurrah as a throw grenade to see if I could maximize my damage, because really... There's probably not much point to this match anymore, is there? I'll forfeit after I see if I can get that grenade throw off to at least kill off one of their characters. At least leave them with a lasting, persistent damage of some kind. But without a doubt, next time, I'm just going to build up towards a 5-man squad and at least then be able to give us a fighting chance, or at least a proper match. I was just under the illusion that maybe, just maybe, since the game started us with only a 3-man squad with just barely enough to get a 4th one. There's the health kit I was worried about. So I probably can't even kill him anymore as a result, even with the melt-a-grenade. Or the melt-a-bomb. But I'm gonna try once at least before we end this off. And see how many we can actually hit with said grenade. And without a doubt, you should be able to move before anyone else. I'm hopeful. Alright, so I think we know what my plan is. Because you don't have any grenades. Because I used it earlier, and sadly the bleed was not enough. Now, step 2. This is really hard to aim because I don't... Unless there's a hotkey, I can't really see where I'm throwing. I was really hoping to hit more. Color me disappointed. In fact, it would honestly be better just to shoot him. I'm serious on that. It just would have been better to just shoot him. I could take an Overwatch shot. And then I've come to find out I can't even shoot him either. Is that what... Okay. Let's try our chances. And might as well make an aim shot for good measure. What has the least resistance, though? Just ahead. Alright. I'll give him one chance to get a rebuttal in before I forfeit on when it asks me to skip. Assuming it'll give me an option to even skip with a character. Well. In all honesty, probably the fact that I deployed the way I did was probably what screwed me over more. It was slight bad luck that I could just grapple right away to avoid all that trouble, though. Because that could have been amazing. I still would have been a ridiculous underdog without a doubt, but I'm doing myself no service there if I give them the perfect opportunity to deploy on me there, too. So you don't know where you're gonna go, are you? So, I think our slum rats, or slag rats, are gonna have to be remade, assuming there's persistent damage or any, if I don't even get anything from this match. And it's definitely not a good start, but like I said, next time, I'm definitely gonna try again. I'm gonna have to get a couple operations in beforehand to at least get a 5-man squad before we attempt this. Because even my last opponent, which was a different opponent at that, because they had a bunch of level 0 kind of green, green recruits. But they still had a 5-man squad, with that said. You seem pretty content to just sit there, which makes me wonder if I was smart about it, maybe I could have just gone and grabbed the objective crates and bamboozled then. Maybe. I'm just waiting for him to finish the turn and see. I could probably forfeit now. I just want to see if they had a way to just kill me off. to roll for injuries, so that was probably going to happen anyway, in all honesty. I'm not going to waste everyone's time. Even though, arguably, I kind of am wasting everyone's time. Let's be honest. This was not a fair fight. But I am honestly curious, what was their team rating, for the sake of comparison. It doesn't want to say anywhere that I can see, so we're left in suspense wondering just how outclassed I truly was. And without a doubt, this is a big black mark, potentially, for the multiplayer. But it can be alleviated. And I get my melter grenade back. Oh, and apparently you get experience out of this, but what about everyone else? Yeah, they get negative traits because they were incapacitated. So I'm probably just going to rebuild the squad and just get my 5-man crew ready for the next episode. So thank you everyone for putting up with that crap. I will see you next time.